A hybrid healthcare equipment project runs an agile software track and a productive electronic track. Okay. Halfway into the project, a new risk impacting both the tracks was identified in the electronic track. What should the project manager do next? Option A, attend the daily stand-up for the agile team and inform them about the risk. Okay. Recommend product owner to discuss the and plan risk response in the backlog refinement. Option C, call a special meeting with the complete agile team to discuss this risk. Option D, add this risk to the agenda of the upcoming retrospective meeting. I let you choose your option before I talk about my opinion about these four options. You can pause, think, and pick your choice. Okay, so if I look at this question, in my view, this one is tricky one because seems to be most of the options are kind of a possible candidate option. So our choice is that we need to make best judgment and identify which one is the most appropriate out of these many options. Attending the daily stand-up of the agile team and informing them about the risk is good idea. It is not that bad. Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good idea, especially if the risk impacts the current iteration. Yeah. But if the impact is not on the current iteration, then like there is no action coming out of that particular conversation because yeah, you spoke about something, but probably we need to handle it somewhere else. So we flag this question and see option and then see like, let's see if we have a better option available. Option B, recommend product owner to discuss and plan risk response in the backlog refinement. It could be a backlog refinement meeting. It could be a backlog refinement activity. To me, this looks a good option. Yeah, let's see if we have better one. Option C, call a special meeting with a complete agile team to discuss this risk. Not necessarily a good option until unless we have an emergency, because when the team is working on the current iteration, we should let them work on the current iteration. If I see something in the description which talks about that this is going to impact their current iteration, then I might need to do this option as a C. But if I don't see that clue coming in, then I shouldn't be disturbing my agile team in the current iteration. Option D, add a risk to the agenda of upcoming retrospective meeting. So that seems to be not necessarily appropriate here because the retrospective meeting primarily focuses on probably that how we misidentifying that risk. If you want to do that, that's a good place to talk, like how can we improve our risk identification process. But you have an identified risk which need to be analyzed and you need to see how to respond differently. Talking about it and waiting for a retrospective meeting to happen, that doesn't seem to be a right choice. So I come back to A, B, and C only. D, I can fairly ignore. Now, in A, B, and C, the critical thing from my point of view is an identification of, is this risk is on current iteration or on the future iteration? If it is on the current iteration, A and C becomes better. But if it is about the future, the B seems to be more appropriate. Now, though there is no clear clue coming out of it for both, it is for current or it is for future, but in the absence of the clue, which is not talking about current, I will go with option B and I say, okay, that you have a risk. It might require some adjustment in the priority. It might require some adjustment in the other dependencies. And better we talk and discuss them in our backlog refinement meeting. Yeah. So my opinion, if the risk impacts the current iteration, you better handle it then and there, maybe after the daily scrum. But if risk is impacting the future course of action, then backlog refinement seems to be the most appropriate place to talk about it. So I go with option B. I can say this one is having very close choices.